In 1518, a woman walked into a Strasbourg street and started dancing. She never stopped, and by the end, hundreds were dancing with her until they collapsed. This isn't a fairy tale. It happened, and it's weirder than you think. Summer 1518. Strasbourg is starving, 3 years of failed crops. Famine. Syphilis is spreading, smallpox too, leprosy, the English sweat, a fever that kills you in hours. People are seeing things in the sky. Comets, signs of divine punishment. The end times feel close. The city is broken, psychologically shattered, everyone's terrified. July 14, 1518. This is when everything changes. A middle-aged woman named Frau Troffea steps into the street and starts dancing. Not a waltz, not a jig. Violent, jerky, unstoppable. Neighbors gather. They watch. She doesn't stop. Hours pass. She's still dancing. Days pass, still dancing. Her feet swell, blood seeps through her skin, she's screaming, and she can't stop. Then something terrifying happens. A second person starts dancing, then a third. It's not contagious in the biological sense. It's psychological. People are watching the dancers and becoming convinced they're cursed too. They believed Saint Vitus could curse you with compulsive dancing, and belief, in a traumatized mind, becomes real. By the end of the first week, 30 people are dancing. A week later, it's 400. The city is in freefall. The city council calls the physicians, the smartest medical minds in Strasbourg. And they recommend something bonkers. They say the dancers should dance more. Their logic, quote, dancing it out will cure the affliction. Real advice, really given. So the city hires musicians and clears a dance floor in the town square. This was a disaster. More people watched, more people danced, the music fueled the contagion. And now the physical toll was becoming undeniable. People were dying, approximately 15 per day at the peak, some sources claim. Some just gave out, their bodies quit from pure exhaustion. Frau Troffea, the woman who started it all, was one of them. But here's what nobody tells you, her death didn't stop it. It accelerated it. Fear spread faster than the dancing, fear that you'd be next. Rational thought broke down, the city lost all control. The city council gave up on science, they turned to religion. They gathered the remaining dancers and led them up a mountain to a chapel, praying for divine absolution. They prayed for hours. And slowly, over days and weeks, the dancing stopped. By September 1518, it was over. 2 to 3 months of collective madness, then silence. The survivors were traumatized, the city was broken, and nobody knew why it had happened. Even the witnesses back then couldn't agree on a cause. Some blamed Saint Vitus's curse. Some blamed evil spirits or demonic possession. Others thought it was poisoning, something in the water or the grain, a contaminated wheat crop. The ergot theory has a problem, though. Ergot poisoning causes gangrene, immobility, not hours of dancing. No bodies showed signs of blackening extremities, no gangrenous symptoms. This wasn't a biological poison. Modern scholars have largely dismissed the ergot theory. The consensus today is different. They believe it was mass psychogenic illness, mass hysteria born from collective trauma. Think about it: famine, plague, apocalyptic terror, a population already psychologically shattered. Then one woman dances, and that act triggers a cascade of psychological contagion. Witnesses become convinced they're cursed. Belief becomes symptom. Symptom becomes undeniable physical movement. The mind is powerful. Under enough stress, it can do things the body wasn't supposed to do. And this wasn't the only time it happened. There are records of other dancing plagues throughout medieval Europe. Aachen in 1374, Rome in 1518. Each time, the same pattern: collective trauma, then collective breakdown. Which means the Strasbourg dancing plague wasn't an anomaly. It was a window. A window into how fragile the human mind becomes when stressed to the breaking point. It shows us that collective belief is more powerful than we think, powerful enough to move bodies. And it shows us that the medieval mind wasn't broken or stupid. It was responding rationally to an irrational world. They were hungry, they were sick, they were terrified. They saw someone dance, and their mind made sense of it the only way it could. So what happened to the survivors? They lived with the memory, and Strasbourg lived with the mystery. 500 years later, we still can't fully explain it, but we understand it better now. We understand that trauma, belief, fear, and a fractured community can create collective symptoms that feel absolutely real. And that means it could happen again, not the dancing, but the mass breakdown, the collective psychological collapse under stress. That's always possible. The human mind hasn't changed in 500 years. We just have better ways to understand it now. And maybe, just maybe, that understanding keeps us sane. So the next time you feel the crowd's fear pulling at you, remember Strasbourg. Remember Frau Troffea. Remember that your mind is powerful, and sometimes it needs protecting. What do you think caused the dancing plague? Mass hysteria or something we've never discovered? Drop a comment and let's figure this out together.